Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be going through an ICO and what KYC is and why it's so important within ICOs and how that relates with US citizens. Okay, but before we get just into that right now, I want to just say that everybody that's been over to Moocharoo.ninja, they signed up for the Masters section, and part of that was the Bitcoin multiplier method. We was waiting for these to come. Unfortunately, bit of a problem. Firstly, they've come, which is cool, and I'll be sending these out to you tomorrow, so you don't have to wait much longer. But the problem is they're all in black and white rather than colour. Now, there should have been colour, but I don't know, maybe there was something I clicked. I don't know, I'm going to have a word with the printer guys and ask them what's going on with that. But rather than you having to wait any longer, I'm just going to ship those out to you anyway tomorrow, so that's cool. Now then, ICOs, US citizens can't participate in ICOs anymore. Why is this? So if we take a look at CashBet, now this is an ICO which I recently did a little review on, and as I said in the review, I haven't actually got any of these tokens myself, haven't invested because they got a crazy amount of buy-in. You have to have like $25,000 to invest because they're in pre-ICO right now. If we go down to participation rules, say open to all participants meeting the participation eligibility rules. Okay, so we have a look, see what these rules are. Pretty much, token purchases by US citizens may only be made by accredited investors. It means that you are not a what they call a high street investor or a main street investor. It means you have to be substantially well off to be able to invest in this, which is one, I don't know. Okay, and KYC, right over it, know your customer. So basically, you have to send off, if you've done an ICO recently, you know exactly what this is. Send off like passport, driver's license, maybe a utility bill to proof of address to show that KYC is basically to prove that you're not a US citizen. This is pretty much all that it is. So it's been out a while now. I think it was about July last year this all came out. It isn't just this ICO. You look at this one here, Markspace. They've currently raised lots of money. Okay, down there at the bottom we see that US citizens cannot participate in Markspace token sale. And then we go over to this one called Dorado. Now, a good friend of mine recently got into this. Oh, he's in the UK, same as me though, so we have absolutely no problem whatsoever, because in the UK we're allowed to be grown-ups. You know, we're allowed to make our own financial choices, you know, whether we're going to have $100 and spend it on drugs or whatever, or we could get that $100, go buy some shoes or a handbag, or take the $100 and put it into an ICO. Right? In the UK and all around the world, people are allowed to be grown-ups and make their own choices, but in the US, for some reason, you're not. I don't know, it's very peculiar to me. Obviously, I'm not a US citizen, I don't understand what it is that's going on. Let's take a look at the frequently asked questions, go over here to the token sale, we come down. I'm a US resident, can I participate? As you've probably guessed, no. United States citizens of America, did I say that right? Cannot participate in this token sale due to local regulations. It is the only country in the world which basically says that you're too dumb and stupid to be able to invest in something. I mean, it's crazy. I don't agree with it at all. But this is basically what it is. Out in the US, they have something called the Securities and Exchange Commission. And back in July last year, I was reading up on this yesterday. I may not have all my facts right, so do bear in mind I'm not a financial advisor, as it says down below in the little disclaimer. You know, I'm not here to give you financial advice, do your own research. But as I was reading last night, this is something to do with July last year. There was a German company called the DAO coin, DAO coin, I believe. And they done an ICO. A hacker came in, stole a majority of the ETH. I think Ethereum network eventually done a hard fork and got all the money back and gave it to the right people. But it was that which spurred the SEC to go out and basically say, no US citizens are allowed to participate in ICOs anymore. So here we go, we got the, this is their statement on cryptocurrencies and initial coin offerings. This was from December last year, because there was a bunch of people saying that if it's a utility coin, so that if it's going to be used for something, you're not just speculating on maybe the price will go up and you're buying a coin like Litecoin or Bitcoin or something like this, then perhaps it's okay. Bitcoin, by the way, they tried to get an ETF on it, which is what the SEC is all about. I don't know where it is down here. Oh, there we go. So, considerations for Main Street investors. That is what they consider dumb folk out there. Okay, so you're not rich investors with lots of money, you're just the general population. So you're considered as Main Street investors by the US government. And they suggest that investors should understand that to date, no initial coin offerings have been registered with the SEC. The SEC also has not to date approved for listing and trading any exchange-traded products, such as ETFs, holding cryptocurrencies or other assets related to cryptocurrencies. If any person today tells you otherwise, be especially wary. So you may be in the knowledge already that the Winklevoss twins, the guys which created Facebook or came up with the idea for Facebook before Mark Zuckerberg made it first. Anyway, those guys, they're the guys which pushed through the futures market, which happened in December, where Bitcoin got added onto the futures market. They did that because they'd already failed to try with the SEC to get Bitcoin on as an ETF. But as that was refused, Bitcoin then got classed as a commodity and got put onto the commodities futures market, which is where it is now. So Bitcoin aside, because Bitcoin is considered a commodity, all other cryptocurrencies are considered securities. Right? So unless these securities, like an ICO, is, how much chance does an ICO basically have of getting on with the SEC when it has absolutely nothing because it's an ICO and Bitcoin can't even get on there? There's zero chance. So, if anybody tries, they're going to get sued by the SEC. And if you, an investor in the US, try to buy it, you're going to get sued by the SEC too. So everybody gets sued by the SEC. It's nobody wants to get involved, which is why as you saw on all these other coin offerings, nobody wants US citizens at all. However, there could be a few ways around this. So what I've been thinking about is one way you could do it if you was a company which was going to offer an ICO type of event. You could do it by not selling the tokens, okay, but instead having an airdrop for donators. So people could donate from the US if they really like the project, really like the idea, and they wanted to donate some funds towards that idea. Then I don't see how that has got anything to do with the SEC, because the SEC is more about investing in securities. And as you're making donations to a cause rather than investing in with the idea of getting a return, then that could be cool. And then everybody which has donated would then be put into the airdrop. Airdrops are very familiar, it's something which happens all the time with cryptocurrencies. And if you had it so that only people that had donated were in the airdrop, it'd be a way to distribute some coins. Although I think if you had it on a exact, you get so many coins for this amount of dollars and everybody in the airdrop, that could be thought of as actually you're just selling them and offsetting, giving the tokens. So you could be sued, so you'd have to have some sort of random factor in there. I don't know, it could still be a bit iffy. I think for an ICO, it's just easier from a company perspective to just ban US citizens outright. It's the same with, if you're a market professional, if you're somebody with lots and lots of money and you can prove that you're a sophisticated investor, then you can invest in ICOs. But it's just easier for a company perspective to just outright ban US citizens, which is why we have KYC. So KYC, as we saw, is all about getting a copy of somebody's passport, driver's license, proof of address to just basically prove you're not American. I recently did a review on Storica, as you may remember, and there was lots of people on the Storica Telegram complaining about KYC because Storica originally said that there was no need for KYC. However, they hadn't anticipated the US problem. So they ended up saying, look, we're going to have to do KYC, make sure that everybody isn't US citizens. And, this it's really sort of shaken up the the ICO market. It's very annoying for the rest of us in the rest of the world having to do KYC all the time just to buy some tokens. I'm sure we all understand the risks involved, that we could lose all of our money, but it's a risk. It's a risk, and we're all grown-ups. We understand the risk. It's not a problem. But yeah, that's basically it. So one other solution that I came up with was you basically offset the person that's buying it. Okay, so you sort of offset the nationality. So if you have a dual nationality, okay, so that you're also from another country, you might be able to get away with it that way. Or if you live near the Mexican border or the Canadian border, pop across, get a girlfriend, get the girlfriend to buy the coins. And as soon as the ICO is finished, just transfer the coins into your wallet. You could do that. Other ways could be, if you don't have a girlfriend or you're not near the Mexican border, to just pop across and get one. What you could do is find somebody that you know, trust, maybe a family member or a friend of a friend, somebody that you know in a foreign country, to actually buy the coins on your behalf. You send them some Bitcoin, they buy the coins, maybe take 5% of the coins as a sort of commission or something, and that would then allow US citizens, in fact this could actually be a business for somebody, some bright spark entrepreneur in Mexico, okay, to set up a business to buy tokens at ICO for US citizens. Who knows? Now, I'm not offering the service, by the way, but this is a way around that sort of weird loophole which the SEC have created for some reason, and there's no simple way around it. That is just a few ideas I'm just throwing out there as ways. If you were a US citizen wanting to get involved in an ICO, they could possibly be ways around it, but do bear in mind you could get sued. So I'd recommend reading through this. I'll leave a link to this article here from the SEC. If you are interested, you can have a read through it, although I'll be quite honest with you, it is quite a long and boring read. Anyway, that's the video for today. I hope you might have maybe gained some understanding of why the need is for KYC and what this whole deal is with the US not being allowed to make up their own minds and put some money into ICOs should they wish to. It's totally bananas in my opinion, but that's it for today, and I shall see you tomorrow.